Okay. Good afternoon, and welcome. Just a little Sunday evening chat. Oh, my lighting seems a little bit off, but I hope you're seeing me clearly. All right, so thank you for joining me first thing. Sunday is normally the type of day that you spend with your family and you do all those things that I love to do as well. But before I get the week going, I thought that I'd just share a little thing. And I am going to go as far back as the 26th of August 2019. That's over a year ago. And I'm going to be sharing with you just a little bit of review of a book that I read. And going forward, I've decided that I'm going to do some book reviews, and please, these book reviews, please do not hold me word for word. These book reviews, will just be a little, when you used to go to school and after summer holidays, teacher would tell you, okay, students, you need to do a comprehension, right? And in the comprehension, you'd have to talk about your holiday, you'd have to talk about how things went, etc. My lighting is not so hot. Right, you'd have to talk about all of those things. That's the purpose of the book review. Now, one of the reasons that I'm doing this, I love to share. And I have found that even when I share privately with my friends or a certain group, it brings enlightenment. And not only, it's not a one-way thing. We can always share and give feedback, and someone else might say, oh, I've read that, or this is what I've learned from that. So I'm also going to be setting up a Facebook group that if you wish to join, you can join in that group for further discussions, etc. All right, so like I always say, if you find that the topic is of interest to you and it helped you, then I will ask you to share it with someone who you think will benefit. So this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I listened to this book. I listened to the audio book more than one time, but I'm going to go back to 2019. So I have my journal here. I love the journal, by the way. I have about 20 journals. And depending on how I'm feeling on any given day, I choose the journal accordingly. So this journal has on the front, start each day with a grateful heart. And I believe this like 1,000%. I always believe this. All when I feel grumpy and I feel like, if it's even just a quick prayer, I always whisper. So I'm going to share with you. So this is what I wrote down from 2019 from the book review. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So I have here 10 points and I'm going to go through the 10 points. So number 1, know what I want and know what I don't want. So this is like a summary from the book. So in life sometimes you get things and you're not sure why this is coming at you, or you're not attracting what it is that you want, and you don't necessarily know how to filter out the things that you don't want. Sometimes it's because you don't have a lot of clarity in your space, right? So clarity will help you to know what you want and what you don't want. How can you know what you want and you don't want? It's very simple. You have to know your brand. You have to think about your lifestyle, your likes, your dislikes. Think about what you're passionate about. Everything always goes back to your passion. If you find something that you're passionate about, then you want more of that. If it's neither here nor there, it doesn't have an impact, then it might not be something that you want. Or depending on the emotions that a particular thing or event evokes, that is something that you either want or you don't want. So the book encourages us to know what we want and what we don't want. The next thing I wrote down is that there is something called the power of choice, and I believe this with my 7th sense, right? Power of choice. You can choose in every situation, regardless of what. Whether you're broke and you don't have no money, whether you're jobless, or what else happening like that makes us feel powerless at times. If you're in a relationship and it's not working out, you can choose, right? So you need to choose. You have the power of choice. Good. Number 3, choose friends carefully. Now this is like cliche, because every day we talk about it. We say, Lord, I don't know. there's somebody I know, my friend, or have you ever seen persons posting on, social media, and they're dropping words for people, and you wonder then who them are drop it for? Because if I know your friend probably not even seeing it. If it's not your friend, they're probably not even seeing the post. Or some people have so many things to drop for people who they claim are not their friends that you wonder where they find time to do that. But you have to choose your friends carefully, and there's a reason for that. And every time I think about this, I can't remember who said it, but if you think about the five persons who are closest to you, you have an idea of how you will turn out or what your life will be like. Your five closest friends. So you have to choose carefully. If you choose someone who does negative, you are go negative. No care how you try to be positive, right? If you choose someone who everything they say is I can't. Shortly from now, you're going to develop that mindset. If you choose people who inspire, who motivate, persons who push you to get things done, they don't even have to say a word, but just by their actions, they are, what you would call it now, let me find a word. They are passion filled, they find success in everything, and they push themselves to always achieve more. Those are the kind of people that you want around you, right? So you have to choose your friends carefully. Number 4, master a formula and then learn a new one. Some persons, I used to be like that in my younger days. Not that I'm much older now, but you want to do everything, or you see something and you like it and you start to do it and quickly you move on to something else. So you're scattered, you're all over the place. And I'm telling you that is very hard to master, because you might start the thing, you have a little bit of success, and you say it's time to move on, but it's not time to move on yet because you have not reached mastery. So you want to choose something, get very good at it, so that in your sleep you can be doing that thing. You can recite it, you can teach it to someone. It's just natural for you. You can write a book on it. You could do a guideline, a policy, whatever. And once you have mastered it, then you move on to something else. So don't be what? Jack of all trade and master of none, right? You want to master and then move on. Pay yourself first. Allocate money to the asset column before you pay your bills. Pay yourselves first. I'm an investment banker, and even in my job, we cannot overemphasize this. It's super important. And for this point, I don't even have to say anything because we can all relate. Think about what our lives, have been like since the pandemic. Most persons have to struggle to find stuff. And when I say struggle, you don't mean that you're dying for hunger, but you really have to take pen and paper and budget and make sure, boy, all right, if I'm going to take this money to buy the food, I'm going to take it from the light bill money, and then I need to make it up back. Since the pandemic, there are many persons who have to be surviving like this. And one of the things, or one of the reasons that would cause this, especially, I shouldn't say cause, one of the reasons that would, magnify this is if you were not paying yourself first from the beginning. So you don't have no extra savings, you don't have nothing put up. So you're living hand to mouth now. So what you want to do from now, while you're working, while you're earning, make sure you pay yourself first. And paying yourself first, that just mean put it in an account and say, okay, I'm paying myself first. You can invest it, you can save it, put it in a business, do something with it. But don't tie it up too much that if something happens like an emergency, you can't access it. But you need to be consistently putting something away. The next thing I have here, pay your brokers well. Now, anybody you work with, anybody performing duties for you, you want to make sure that you treat them well. And it's for more than one reasons. One, of course, you want them to always do business with you, and worse, if you do good business together, you want to continue to enjoy that. But there is a thing too, how you treat people determines how successful you are. I believe that, and I'm sure some persons will beg to differ and say, no, some people, they're wicked and then treat people bad and they prosper. Fine, they could be prospering, they could be making money, but are they happy? Do they have joy? Are they fulfilled? Are they living a passion-filled life? It doesn't mean that because you're making money, all is well. But the rule of thumb that I always go by, treat others as how I'd want them to treat me. So you want to make sure that you pay your brokers well, whoever you're business with. And you can translate this pay here outside of money to just treat people well, treat them with respect. You understand? Pride, dignity, those sort of things. Be an Indian giver. No. When I heard this the first time, it was a new concept for me and I read a little bit more about it. But it's really the practice of giving something for something in return. So you give something, later on you expect to get it back or you get a return on it. Right? And if we translate that to business, that is called return on investment. Right? If you put on $50, I am sure you want to get back the $50. Or if you don't take back the $50 immediately, you want to make sure that you're getting something on the $50, right? So you want to be an Indian giver. Don't just sit. All right, let's say you have some money. Don't just say, okay, well, I can afford it, so I can give this away, or I can afford it, so I don't have to pay much attention to it. No, you need to make sure that whatever you're investing in, you want to put as much into it so that you can either get it back or get a return on it or double it or something. I'm not saying that there aren't times that you're going to give people things and expect it back. If you're giving a gift, it's different. If you're giving a grant, it's different. If you're helping somebody out, it's different. But in business, you want to make sure that something is coming back to you. Number 8, asset by luxuries. Asset by luxuries. Now, I've always wondered, I'm not going to call any particular race or nation here, but when I speak of this, I'm sure you can relate. There's a certain I don't even know if race is the right word here. I want to make sure I'm correct. All right, let's use race for the lack of finding a better word now. There's a certain race. Whenever they are in business, watch them carefully. They make a lot of money. They band together. So they have that togetherness and that helps them. They're not bad minding each other to say, okay, because you have one store that is so mine now go survive or me have a bad mind if you no work. No, they work together. And the thing that I've noted about this particular race is, unlike another race, wink wink, when we start to make money, what's the first thing that we do? We start to buy luxury items. We want a newer car, we want a bigger house, we want all sorts of things. And I'm not saying that it's wrong to want those things, because I myself as an entrepreneur, those are some of the things that I'm aiming for, because life is short and you want to make sure that you enjoy it. So whatever it is that will make you enjoy it, once you're not infringing on people's rights, then by all means. But the first money you taught me, nobody could buy a pretty car and pretty this and that. Right? So this point is speaking to that you need to let your assets buy your luxuries. Not go a bank will take out loan and do the whole 9 yard and then you're in trouble to pay it back. Your assets should be earning for you, and while they're earning, so an example here, your asset is earning, so you have the money in the bank or wherever from that, and you have the overflow, use that to buy your luxury. Don't just jump into acquiring luxury from debts, right? 9, know about and study your heroes. I think, I don't exactly remember everything for this point, but what is coming back to me for this is, who are the persons that you look up to? Who are the persons that you want to be like? And to be like someone doesn't mean a physical semblance. It doesn't mean that, okay, well, I want to be like Oprah, so I must have the kind of hair, I must have the kind of shape. No, you want to be like her in terms of the strategies that she has used, how successful she has been in business as a woman. What are some of the things that I can learn from her? So me seeing her on TV 1 or 2 times is not sufficient. I need to study her. I need to follow some of the things that she did. And following here means read about her experiences. What can I get from that experience that I can put in my life, that I can implement? There's no point in reinventing the wheel. Why are you going to reinvent the wheel if somebody did it before and was successful? You have a blueprint. Worse if they did it before and they were not successful. Those are the blueprints that I love, because those blueprints will help you to see ahead some of the things that you are to avoid, right? So you want to make sure that you know and study your heroes. Then number 10, teach and you shall receive. When you want something and you fall short, give it away and it will come back. Now when I heard that, that stood out for me. I mean, like, if I'm going to buy something and it costs $1,000 and I only have $600, in essence, what this is saying is that I should give away the $600 and it will come back to me. So the $600 should come back to me because I'm giving away that $600 and it's going to come back to me in multiples. I don't know if I can liken it onto the principle of tithing, but I'm going to say perhaps. Sometimes if you go to church, you might hear some testimonies. A sister get up and say, praise the Lord, God is good. Me did only have one $500 and me determined say me a tithe. Me didn't have light bill for pay and the picking them to go to school. But me determined say me a throw me tithe and offering and me throw the one $500. And then at the morning, sister so call me and me get $1,000 or me get $5,000 or whatever the multiple of that 500 is. It's a similar principle. But it is not going to work if you say, okay, well, me need something for $1,000. Me only have $500. So I'm going to give away the $500 and me know say it must come back. You have to do it from a space of not exactly expecting it back, but give it with a good heart. So you're not just going to go up the road and just give away your $600. So no, you're going to make sure that you give it to a cause that is worthy of your $600, something that you believe in, and make sure it's something that is going to help someone else, right? So you might know a family who is in need of food, or they have kids to go to school but they can't afford lunch money, or there's a charity for young people to help them to go back to school or learn a trade, whatever it is, right? So you give whatever you have fallen short, and it should come back to you. So those are my 10 points for sharing. And then I'll also go a little bit here. I see I had written down something that said, some great gifts were given to us. One of them is time. One of them is the mind. It's up to me to make the best of both. When I spend money in my mind and how to acquire assets, I am choosing to build wealth and get rich. When I spend money, is this in or on? Sometimes I carry my own handwriting. When I spend money on, O-N. When I spend money on my mind and how to acquire assets, I am choosing to build wealth and get rich. Now, my very good friend, she used to be my boss. She's also my mentor, Tanya, Dwyer-Powell. She is a coach. I can't remember the proper title, you know. I don't remember if it's business coach or a life coach, but long and short of it, she's a very good coach. She's also my mentor. I've done coaching with her before too, and it was very good. So recently I'm going through my emails and I'm seeing an invite from her to sign up for a course with Les Brown. Now, I love public speaking. Every opportunity I get to share, I will jump at it, especially to talk to young people. So this is something that is going to be very good for me. It will help to develop, you know, the skills that I think I already have, but them want enough sharpening. That is why you need a mentor. That is why you need somebody who has gone ahead of you, who has, that person would have accomplished the things that you are seeking to accomplish. So she sent me the thing. So Les Brown now has a what you call it now? Getting old. Seminar. That's coming up. It's gonna cost some pretty dollars, and it's in US. Now when I saw it at first, my first thing was, if you spend so much money on that, I don't know about that, yeah, Corona now. But then this is saying that when I spend money on my mind and how to acquire assets, I am choosing to build wealth and get rich. So sometimes you getting rich or building wealth doesn't mean that you're going to see monies coming into your bank account right away. Sometimes you have to spend monies on yourself first. Don't play, you know. You see those people, you see have those things behind their names, John Maxwell coach or whichever coach or trainer or whatever. They had to spend some pretty money, right? So you have to be prepared to spend money on yourself. Why do we find it so hard? Some people find it so hard. I mean, they can take up $50,000 and go shopping, go buy clothes. But if there's a course or something that will give them a little bit more education that costs $50,000, they can't do it too much. So you have to choose and make sure that you choose wisely. Choose something that is going to edify. Choose something that is going to help you to develop your skill. Because I do believe that 99% of the time we already have the skill deep within, you know, but it needs sharpening, and that's why you need coaches and mentors, etc. So this is what I have to share with you today on Rich Dad Poor Dad. Make sure you get a read of that book if you're a book lover and you want some real tips on life and how to, you know, build your wealth. That is something that you should read. And I'm going to close by giving you just a peek at some of my books. I have so many books you wouldn't believe. I love books. The next time I do a live, I'm just going to change my settings right behind me here and put some of my books on the bottom layer, because right now I have them on a bookshelf, I have them at my nightstand, I have some in my bathroom. I like to, in the living room, I love to have books everywhere. So just to give you an idea of some of the books that I read, and they really help me with, you know, cultivating and keeping a positive mindset. This one, Worry Less and Pray More, a woman's devotional guide to anxiety-free living, and this one is by Donna K. Maltese. Let me see. This was given to me by a very special lady in my life. Mrs. Owen gave me this book years ago, and I read it all the time. And the thing that I love about this book is that sometimes you're going through different things and you just pick it up and it relates to you. It has different topics and different things. So that's one book. I have a lot of John Maxwell books. I am surprised that I'm not John Maxwell trained, but I have lots of his books because one, they are practical. Two, if you read and you follow, you will learn something and it will better your life. So this one is How Successful People Think. And remember, he would have studied and interviewed many successful people, so he's an expert on that. This book I bought a few years ago when traveling was a thing. This is a hobby that I have. Whenever I reach airport, I'm coming back home, I always have to have pocket money to buy books. So I always buy books in the airport. So this one is 10 Time Management Choices That Can Change Your Life. And this is by Sandra Felton and Marsha Sims, right? So this book is very good. And as you read it, it has some practical things that you need to do and follow. You know, it's just very good. It teaches you to organize, it teaches you to declutter. Lots of good nuggets are in this book. So these are just 3 books that I'm sharing with you today. So I hope that, you know, we can exchange ideas on books to read. So I'm going to ask you to drop in the comments below some of the books that you have read. And if you just want to give a quick takeaway from the book, that would be very good. So until we meet again, this is what I have to share, and I will be doing a Facebook group for book enthusiasts like myself. So if you love to read and you want to share, more like almost like a book club, but we don't want to do it the conventional way. We're going to do it a little bit differently. You can join. I'll share a link, and if you're interested, you can join. Feel free also to share this. I love to work with young people. I love to work with young people because another 20 years from now, I'll probably be retired or near retired, and they will be running things. So it's very important that we hear their opinions, that we start to have the conversation with them, understand how they're thinking, and where we can give them some of our experiences, we pass it on, right? So that's it for me today. Thank you so much for joining. And even if you didn't join now, because I started a Facebook live actually, and then I don't know what happened to the computer, it just ended. But I had a backup, which is what I've taped. So if you have the opportunity to watch later and you're interested in what I would have shared, please put your comments in the link in the chat and I'll get to see them. And I'm looking forward to seeing some of the books that you're reading and some of the life lessons that you have learned. Where did you learn them from? So we know that experience is the key, right? When you experience something, the lesson is always bigger, but sometimes you can learn from other people, so you can share some of those too. All right, so that's it for me. Until then, remember to love somebody more than how you love yourself. Stay safe.